Welcome back to another episode, and today we're joined by Ardis Schmitt. She's an RN, master injector, and the founder of Revive Medical Spa. She's a trailblazer within the med spa world, in cutting-edge aesthetics with total confidence. Let's dive in, see how she's redefining beauty, health, and preventative care. Ardis, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
And share your journey with us, how you started in the medical aesthetic industry and what inspired you to start your own business.
So it's a interesting story, I think. I've been a nurse for 40 years, and about halfway through that career, I decided to go into implementing some technology for healthcare. And as I did that, I got scooped up by a company and ended up in banking. And I was in banking for about 15 years as a program manager, and then I ended my career as the director of Treasury Technology for GE Capital. They wound down their business, and as part of that, there was a bit of a parachute that allowed me to go back and get certified as an aesthetic injector and laser professional. And I did about 60 hours of training and decided to open my own med spa. And the rest is 8 years later history.
Wow, that's an interesting story, going from being an RN and then going into banking and then back into the aesthetic industry. That's awesome that you decided to start your own med spa too, and it's very successful. So walk me through the steps, kind of your building blocks. What got you to start your own instead of working for someone else, and how you built it to what it is today?
So clinically, I'm highly skilled, and having gone through the corporate world and learning a lot about business, those two things married kind of incredibly well to say, well, I can just do this myself. I don't need to go somewhere else, because I did have, and I think it's interesting that, I always tell my mentees, everything you learn in your career, regardless of what you think it may or may not be useful, is always transferable to another career. And so being able to take all that knowledge from business, from project management, and all my clinical expertise and meld it together, it just was the perfect fit to start my own place.
It gives you a great foundation and makes it definitely a lot easier, because I mean, even I know myself, I've spoken with a lot of people who do own their own businesses, and I grew up in an entrepreneurial family as well. But until you do it, you basically don't know what you're doing, and you kind of learn along the way. So to have those foundations definitely gave you the head start. And I mean, what you guys have done in Michigan has been astronomical. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
And kind of to that point, I know that the ever evolving aesthetics industry is also starting to introduce a couple of new trends. What kind of trends that are you introducing and that you've kind of seen within 2025 so far?
So, one of the leans is going to be into more regenerative, health related medicine and medical aesthetics. We definitely have the foundation of the beauty part of it, the injectables, those things that help you, lasers, and to help rejuvenate your skin, and body sculpting came along a while ago, and that was kind of the next phase. Now it's really going to lean towards things like infrared saunas, red light therapy, cold plunging, all the things that can help to regenerate your health. And so that's probably going to be the next big thing. Obviously, also kicked off with some of the weight management drugs that came out. That's a bit of a challenge, as you know. That's getting FDA is kind of limiting that, not stopping it, but limiting that for patients. So, the more we move forward, and, IV therapy, vitamin therapy, all those things are going to play a bigger role in our practices.
Absolutely. And we've already seen some of these trends kind of blow up within the last year or so. I mean, funnily enough, cold plunges. I read a study yesterday that it was 60% or 66% when you take a cold plunge of your body mass or your body muscle doesn't, like, it reduces 66% of your body muscle or something like that, which is funny because so many athletes and so many bodybuilders and everyone that tries to stay active to do cold plunges are very far into that and trying to use the health benefits from it. And we kind of always focus on the negative aspect. Like, there's so much more positive from cold plunges alone outside of everything else that you mentioned, that okay, 60% of muscle mass or muscle
Right.
is affected, but like there's a lot more to it, so it's, we try not to focus on the negative aspects of it. But my question for you was, with all the rejuvenation and all of the regenerative and the red light therapy, the saunas, the cold plunges, what are you doing with Revive Med Spa to kind
So,
of,
yeah,
yeah.
so currently we do vitamin IVs, we do vitamin injections. We also have infrared sauna, and we have red light therapy. I think red light therapy is extremely interesting. I remember 5 years ago, I was at a seminar with the father of lasers. And at the end of our 2 days, when my mind was hurting, literally, because he's just so amazing, he said, the next big thing, you're not going to believe this, but it's going to be red light therapy. He said that red light therapy was being studied by NASA and the space station and other places for benefits, and the results were really very substantial. So that was something that was coming. So when I started to see it coming out, we added that, the infrared sauna, and really the light therapy, for clarification, should be an LED plus a near infrared light, not just one or the other, to get you the benefits, reduce inflammation, minimize lines and wrinkles. I actually also have blue light therapy, and I have some patients that bring their daughter in to get it for their acne. And it is incredible how it reduces the acne. And it really blew my mind at first that this is so effective. You don't really feel it. It's not hot. It's just going into your tissue and penetrating. And that blue light will kill that P. acnes bacteria extremely well. So, I mean, these kinds of therapies are just going to be mainstream. Oh, you can even see some of the home ones that are coming out that people are buying. But they're highly effective if you get a nice medical grade product that is going to give you the right wavelengths of light and the right near infrared. And so that's a pretty exciting one for us.
Absolutely. And to that point, I've been in it myself as well, and it does work wonders. Um,
Did you
the
see
most im-
sorry, did you see some of the
no, you're good.
Netflix series where they had them conditioning the quarterbacks of various football teams? And it was a I don't know, hour and a half show. And one of the things they do is they spent a lot of money on very large full body red light, infrared light therapy that they put them under.
Yeah, it's, I didn't see that Netflix show. One of the most, actually, share with me a little bit on what the red light and the blue light therapy does and what the difference between the two are.
So blue light therapy is for P. acnes bacteria. It will help to kill the bacteria,
Okay.
scientifically proven. The red light therapy helps to regenerate the tissue and muscles. And actually, a quick story, I started looking at it at a show I was at, and one of the demonstrators said, "Do you have any place that hurts?" And at the time, I had a pain in my shoulder for about 2 years, probably. And she goes, "Well, sit down. I'm going to show you how this works." And she spent about 10 minutes on my shoulder, which hurt constantly. And when she was done, it was gone. So it
Wow.
reduces the inflammation significantly. Now, in order to keep that away, you need to do it consistently for a while. I bought it right then and there for myself, even. And I did it for about 2 months, and my pain is completely gone and it's never come back. So, pain reduction, definitely. Inflammation reduction, definitely. It also helps fine lines and wrinkles. So, that's a big plus for us. And those, I think, are for red light really the primary. It's really healing and for your tissue, deep and superficial.
Absolutely. And the key factor to all of this is getting the right LEDs, because we see so many, because of the trend and how popular it's been in the past year. There's so many knockoffs, and we want to make sure that we are getting medical grade. And like you mentioned, the LED plus
Near infrared.
near infrared because it targets different things. And I've learned this myself as well. And infrared therapy, as opposed to red light therapy, are different things.
Yes.
Blue light therapy, different things. But you want to make sure that you have the right product and preferably the right person, such as yourself, and the right center to do it in to make sure that they know what they're doing and they're really targeting your pain on whether it's pain management or if it's wrinkles, because we don't all want wrinkles. I don't
Nope.
think anyone has wished for wrinkles before. So if we're able to get rid of those pain points, you have to use a certain type, and to have an expert such as yourself to kind of guide that person through it, I think is awesome. And definitely needed as well. I mean, kind of on a business standpoint, with all these trends coming out and all these new products and new services, how are you marketing to your former clients and to your new clients as well to get them in the center?
So we have a very large base of clients, and you know, I see them mostly on a regular basis. It can be every 3 months, it can be every month, depending on the types of treatments they're doing. And so we, do a consultation to discuss where they're at in their journey and what would be next for them at most visits. So that's how we do a lot of our marketing. And then I do Google AdWords for Botox, and Botox is a big feeder for any medical spa. And then, so we do extremely well with that. And when they get in the door, we then do a full consultation with them at that time and make a plan for their journey, which is, I tell them, a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely. I love that. And with the personalization piece is what we all need and what we're all looking for as well, especially in today's age. So walk me through the process. When a client walks in the front door, they start with a consultation. What happens after that? Do they get education? Do they continue the education while you speak with them? Or are you sending them emails with more education that's personalized to them? Walk me through that process.
So, in general, when someone comes in as a new client, we do a full face and body consultation, discuss their needs, their goals, and it's very personal to, I start off with the question, "What do you love about your face?" And we go from
Great
there.
question.
Yeah. And then we go from there, take baseline photos and make sure we know exactly where they're at the beginning. We go through and talk about the areas of the face, the areas of the neck, the areas of the body, and any concerns they may have. I'll ask the question, does this concern you? Does this concern you? Because some people might say, nope, I'm fine with that. I wear bangs. My forehead wrinkles don't bother me. Okay, let's move down the face, right? And then I'll talk about any volume loss they have, any fine lines and wrinkles. And then I give them options. We discuss them. I educate them on what they can expect as an outcome for those options. And then we usually settle on a plan. The plan is multi-visit typically, and provide quotes for those. And then typically at that point, we're going to start the first thing.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that process, kind of walking them through the whole thing, starting with who they are, who they want to be, and what they want to have fixed, essentially. But that hyper personalization is something that, would you say, makes you different than the rest?
I think it is a key differentiator for us that we do this with our patients. It's not just somebody said, I want Botox, and they come in and somebody puts some Botox in and then they say, we'll see you, right? I think that we really do take the time and the care, book a full hour at least for just this consultation, and it is complimentary to help them understand what their opportunities are to meet the goals that they have. And I think that is somewhat unique in terms of, putting together a treatment plan.
Absolutely. I haven't seen it with too many of them, but my question is, what really makes you stand out from the rest of the competitors? There's med spas all over, and with all the trends coming up as well, there's more popping up left and right every day. What makes you different than the rest?
So if you read our Google reviews, what you'll see is they're all real. And what people typically say is they feel cared for, they feel loved, they feel that they are genuinely found a home, right? So our goal, I think, is always, and I tell my staff to make them feel that they're at the Ritz and they are the most important person in the world in that time they're there, that we do everything we can to make them comfortable. And I go through all the senses. If it's chilly, it's a warm blanket from the blanket warmer. It is a nice scent in the room. It is nice music in the room. It is a really pretty atmosphere. It is touch. It is feel. It is caring about those people, genuinely making a relationship with them that lets them know that we're in it with them for the long haul. And I have a lot of patients who will get in the chair and it gets tipped back, and I'll come in the room and they'll start talking. And it's usually a therapy session first about what's going on in their life and where they need support emotionally, right? And I'm all in with it. And then it's about getting their treatment.
Awesome. Awesome. It's you're kind of the new hair salon, if you will.
That's interesting because that's true. I always say, what is it about going to the salon and somebody starts washing your hair and you are telling them your life story? Yes, it's very much like that.
And
Fortunately, I have some psych background, so it also helps me in guiding those conversations.
it definitely doesn't hurt. But actually, to the point of hair salons, and I think kind of what we described and what I mentioned as well, what they've done so well, and if you talk with everyone and even look back at yourself as well, and we always go to the same hairdresser. And I think the question is always why? Why do we always go to the same hairdresser? And I think it's that connection that they build
Yeah,
with the person. It makes you feel almost like family.
yeah,
And that just makes the experience for the client that much better, and the process just goes so much smoother and everyone's more comfortable. And from the sounds of it, that's exactly what you guys do, and definitely what makes you stand out, because we see too many of these services or these products where it's, I don't care about you, here it is, whatever your goal is doesn't matter to me, I just want my service done, I want the money, you want this, and then we're done.
yeah.
So I think that personalization approach that you take is awesome.
And sometimes I'll tell you that I will say no to a client. And that's kind of, I guess, unusual in our industry because some people are all about sell another syringe of filler, sell another. I am very comfortable in saying no, you don't need it yet. This isn't time. Come back in 6 months, because I want them to, my name's on their face and I want them to look fantastic. So I'm very comfortable in saying, do not need anything else in your lips. We're not doing that today. You're going to wait a while until they are less full and then we can refill. But I'm very comfortable. And, that's really a trust, right? I care about my patients to an extreme. I care about their lives. I care about their looks, and I'm not going to let them do anything that's going to give them an odd look in any way. So I will, and they appreciate it because they ask, what do you think? And I'm very honest. It's not about selling. It's about building a relationship and giving somebody the most beautiful outcome I can give them. That's
A-
what it's about.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, your brand, and everyone talks about this and they think the brand is a logo. Like, we'll take Nike, for example. Like, everyone thinks the brand of Nike is the swoosh, but the brand of Nike isn't the swoosh. The brand of Nike is not their slogan either. It's not just do it. The brand of Nike is these athletes who wear high quality clothing, who are striving to do the best for themselves, whether they're tired, sick, hungry, doesn't matter. And for the same for you as well. And I love that you mentioned your brand is on, or your name is on their face, because it is.
Yeah.
When they go to you for a service and they're looking for a goal to be completed by you, they're showcasing you and your work and your brand. And I try to tell this to everyone as well. When you come into the marketplace with a service approach of, I want to help you achieve your goals, money will follow.
Yes.
And if you're focused on the money, the product will never be good. But if you're
Correct.
focused on helping people and getting them to their goals and being okay saying no, that's when the money will always follow, but you're making the world a better place. And to be honest with you, selfishly enough, I love to do it because it makes me feel good.
Too.
It's a part for me that it actually makes me feel good when I can help someone else. But I love that approach. That definitely, in my idea, makes you definitely unique compared to a lot of other competitors within the industry.
And I think that that is spot on. You just described me. I love to care for people. I love to see them, I'll get emotional, walk out with their head higher than when they came in. That makes me smile. And that's my goal, right? And you're right. You know what? The money will take care of itself if you do the right things. I also do something, and many of the other med spas that are local to me know, and some actually nationally. I'm community over competition completely. So if anybody needs anything, they know they can call on me, and they do, to help them out, whether they need me to help them, with a vascular occlusion. I just tell them bring their patient and come on, and I'll get it cleared with them. Whether it's to borrow some Botox because they ran out, they just it's like it's all good. I'm happy to help all the fellow providers that are near me. And I even help some providers that are mentees of mine across the country with questions and looking at their patients for my opinions. And I don't charge for anything like that. I don't make a profit on anything like that. I just think it's good karma to do that.
Absolutely. I love the approach that you have. Like, I always try to live up to that as well, to try and help people whenever I can. Whether they're a competitor of mine or not is not the difference. For me, if we can all be in this together, that's really what the goal is. We're all trying to better ourselves and help each other. We can build that strong community and everyone can be part of it. There's no only me, me, me.
Right.
So I love that what you do. So tell us where you're located, where we can find more information about you. If we want to book a service, where can we find all that information?
So the easiest way to get a hold of us is to go to our website. It's Revive, REVIVEMA. So as in medical aesthetics, REVIVEMA.com. And you can call from there, you can book from there, and you can learn more about our services and any promotions we might be having, and read about some details about different treatments you might be interested in.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'll have all those links in the description below. If anyone is in Michigan and is looking to even just speak with artists, whether you want a therapy session or if you want to better have some goals for your health and for your skin as well, hop in on Artist, go talk to her. And if not, go on her website, look at her social media, see what she's done in the past. All those links will be in the description below. But artists, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll be able to have you on the podcast in the future as well.
I'd be honored, Elliot. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.